And my kid says to me, so would you do it again? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would.
It's amazing how many people say that the worst thing that happened to them ends up being the best. You learn a lesson.
From that point, the best thing ever that happened to me came into my life. And her name is Jamie Williams, and she's my integrator.
Welcome to The Decision from Nashville EO, where you will hear the rest of the story after tough decisions were made by entrepreneurs who faced adversity and lived to tell about it.
Welcome to The Decision, the podcast by EO Nashville for EO Nashville members, where we talk to EO Nashville members about all the adventures that they have in the course of starting, running, scaling, and selling businesses. With me, as always, my partner in crime, Mr. Robert Hartline.
Good to be here.
Good to be here, as always. And with us today is Mr. Luke Freeman. Luke, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
When you first moved to Nashville, we sat down and had breakfast. How has Luke Freeman changed over the years, and how has EO played a part in that?
What was that? First Wash Brentwood, I think.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Yep.
Yeah. We were brand new to the community, made a beautiful move from sunny South Florida after 16 years and came here in Nashville to get a little closer to my roots. I grew up in central Illinois and wanted to be closer to family, want to get our two young kids into some seasons again. And I'll admit, the first couple of years here, for me, I was like, what the heck did I do?
You saw the winters.
Leaving the sun, the gray skies we have for a few months on end.
Yep.
But the Nashville and greater community has really welcomed the Freeman family with open arms. We've made incredible friends. Our children are thriving, just incredible. And the EO chapter here is fantastic, as is the South Florida chapter I came from. So just really, really neat to go to a city, a thriving city, right? Like Nashville, and just immediately have like-minded entrepreneurs, friends, people you could talk about. And so it's been it's actually 4 years. December 23rd was 4 years. So,
Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
Wait, could you tell a difference between chapters? Is there a distinction between the two that you've seen?
Yes. And it's really ironic. The two chapters that I'm a part of are two, I think still at this time, like 1 and 2, or, what you have it based on size of EO South Florida and EO Nashville. Definitely different, right? So, South Florida, we have a lot of folks coming from all over the world, moving to Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Here in Nashville, we have folks moving here as well. So there's some similarities in that. Size, scope, we've got some major folks that were involved in, the cryptocurrency movement, because that's what kind of came to town in South Florida, right? A lot of big time hospitality, restaurateurs, stuff like that. Here in Nashville, I've met a lot of folks that are in all different types of businesses that we don't have in South Florida, and vice versa. So definitely different.
Yeah, I could not imagine moving to another city without having an EO chapter to help plug you in.
Yeah.
Because it takes, you think about if you move to anywhere USA, to build a network from scratch is going to take you 10 times as long versus being in a chapter.
Yeah.
And the forum experience as well. So having been in EO prior to moving here, I was, I guess, in EO over 10 years. Now I've been in, 15 or 16 cumulatively, but had been in 2 different forums. So when I came here, I was like, this is a major decision, this is a major decision. I'm brand new. I want to be a little picky, but a little selective. And, I would say really the biggest thing, Eric, is my forum experience here in Nashville. Yes, differences in the chapter. I've been so blessed with the 3 different forums that I've been in my life. These 24 men that have just shaped me, molded me, and I've been there for them. They've been there for me. But the gentlemen here in Nashville are just just incredible. Like I'm getting like choked up just thinking like without them in this move and the ups and downs. I mean, we left our whole life. My wife's family. So let me take a step back. My wife and I met on spring break, Panama City.
Wow.
I know a lot of you here in Nashville go down to the Panhandle there. But that's how
What's
we met.
that club down there?
Well, what it was Club La Vila.
Club
Yes,
Velveeta,
yes,
as I called it.
Yeah. But we met and we fell in love, and we did a long distance thing. Then we moved to Chicago after college. The Florida girl couldn't take it, and so we moved to Florida, and it was beautiful because her family was down there. So as we kind of built our life and had our kids, we had grandma and grandpa there to help, and so moving here to Nashville, we didn't have that. We had one dear family friend, my best friend from South Florida that had moved up here, and he sold me hard. 2019, we're in Franklin, on the square there, Christmas time. It's like, yeah, come visit. We go. Never been to Nashville before. And there's Dickens carolers. There's like some snow. I'm like, this is like Pleasantville. And that lived rent-free in the back of my mind when we went into the COVID, And so to be here and to have these beautiful souls in our forum and through EO, like you said, yeah, I mean, it made the transition.
So if we go way back before you even joined EO, what were you doing? What made you get into EO in the very beginning?
So my wife and I's first business is a business called Wizard Creations. We are a branded merchandise agency. So we help companies of all sizes brand their companies through custom printed merchandise that we design, manufacture, source for them. My dad was my dad was an art teacher. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And when I was 8 years old, my dad brings home a Chevy Astro van of iron-on transfers. My mom's like, what are you doing? We're already broke. Now you've definitely broken us, My entire life was printing t-shirts in the family's garage. And I kind of tell the story like it's like the Godfather keeps pulling me back in. So in college, when I met that beautiful girl, my wife, Mara, my parents had sold their business, started a business in my frat house, and we were printing t-shirts. Went into corporate America in South Florida, pulled me back in. I was working for a uniform company. The recession was going. Everything was going really, really bad for the uniform company. We're seeing massive declines in revenues and stuff. So I started the business on the side. So what got me into EO first was Wizard. We were doing wholesale branded merchandise as well as B2B branded merchandise. And I met this beautiful soul named Lil. Lil was also a printer, fireplug, incredible entrepreneur. She's sitting there. She's like, you should be an EO. What's EO? And the rest is history. Yeah.
What would you say the biggest win did you have after getting an EO?
Biggest win?
Yeah. How did life shift for you?
I would say the structure, right? I had no thought in my mind when I was a corporate guy and then I started my business on the side to then go full-time in entrepreneurship in 2010. I didn't have any playbook, didn't have any kind of a roadmap. So I'd say EO gives the structure of having like-minded individuals around you that you can learn from. In my initial forum, I had guys that had hundreds of employees down to just a half a dozen, and everything in between. So I was very blessed. My first forum was incredible for experience of all different levels. But then outside of that is the network of those experiences, right? So it's like you might not have the answer in your forum. You might not have the answer in your chapter, but you're going to be able to go outside of that network. And I think to he who much is given, much is expected. And like when you actually give your all into EO, it comes back to you, as you guys both know, tenfold. So give to get.
What would you say is one of the biggest decisions that you've had to navigate while you were in EO?
How much time we got on this show? I wouldn't say it's the biggest decision. I would say it's the decision that changed my life because it humbled me and it took away my ego. And when you're in the Me Too business of promotional products, So you gotta understand, I'm a branding guy. So picture, if you will, I've got trucks on the side of the road with wizard hats on top. We've got billboards. I'm wearing purple Nikes, purple jacket. I branded purple. Wizard is the brand, and I'm the face. Not by design necessarily. I wasn't born with ego, but it just kind of gets to you when you're the entrepreneur wearing that. So I decided that reality TV was the thing for me. And I did it. I got on reality TV, and I thought that reality TV was reality. But the beautiful thing with this decision was that before I said that I'm going to be on reality TV and share my entrepreneurial story with the world, guess what? My entire forum says, don't do it. You're a gifted sales guy, Luke, but you're passionate. They're going to probably make you look like a used car salesman. My wife said, don't do it. Everybody around me. At that time, my ego heard these words. When those that we loved and respected told you no, I was like, oh, the heck with you. I'm saying, go, baby, go. So I went right into that. Not only did I go on reality TV, I trusted him. I trusted him to tell my story. The show was called $1 Billion Buyer, and it was Tillman Fertitta, a beautiful entrepreneur out of Houston, Texas. He owns Landry's, Morton's, Golden Nugget Casinos, the Houston Rockets NBA team. And the idea of the show is that they would give entrepreneurs a big PO. And I'm like, I'm in the merch business. This is great. We shot an incredible segment, guys. I was so proud of it. I mean, my parents were involved. We talked about my dad starting the business in our garage, named it after my father, Wizard, my little kids at the time, 2, 5 years old. It was beautiful. I host this launch party with 500 people there, the mayor, we're in the newspaper, all this stuff. And I'm watching my wife and I on TV. I'm like, this is amazing. Do you think that they showed the ending that we shot in real life? I wish that they did, but they didn't. They changed my words. They flipped it up. And at the end, they made me look like a used car salesman in the toughest way. And in front of all these people at the end of this segment, people are looking like, Luke, you didn't get a deal. You look like a doofus. What the heck? I could feel it. I could feel that, right? And at the time, I've got dozens of employees. All of my EO brothers and sisters are there to support me because now I've been in the chapter for a long time. I get up on stage with my wife and I to give a free cruise to one of the people we picked out of the hat. And I'm just like, I go home that night. I lay on my bathroom floor and I cry. And I was in that slumber for about 8 months of depression.
What were you beating yourself up over?
Honestly, Robert, it was a mixture between not listening to those I loved, and then, so it was that. And then it was the ego, like just this anger and pointing fingers, but I can't really point fingers because I brought this on myself, and then upset with the show and the producers and all the things. I just felt so lied to. And we were greatly. And to this day, I hadn't watched it until a few years ago. I was sitting there with friends. They're like, let's just watch it. It can't be that bad. And you could see the editing and changing your mouth. It's just gosh, but then we just laughed. And my kid says to me, so would you do it again? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would.
It's amazing how many people say that the worst thing that happened to them ends up being the best. You learn a lesson.
From that point, the best thing ever that happened to me came into my life. And her name is Jamie Williams, and she's my integrator. And one of my guys in my forum says to me at the time in South Florida, he says, Luke, I can't do it. I tried. I read this book, Traction. I read this book, Rocket Fuel. This EOS thing, and I can't do it. I think you can do it. And it was and I was in a low spot, and I wasn't even being real to myself or real to them about how much of a bad spot I was in, mentally and emotionally. But I'm like, this dude is smart. This dude is crushing it. And he can't do this, but he's thinking I can do this. So that little boost got me to go down that path. And that's where Jamie entered my life, my integrator. And we've been together all these years since. And since then, we've done things I never even envisioned. Buying other companies, selling companies, buying buildings, a move cross country where my business is still in Florida thriving. You know,
going through this story made me think about how some people would, I mean, I understand. I would have been the same way.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the fucking show. A, to push myself to the edge of my comfort. B, I don't know what's going to happen, right? And you realize that it happened for you exactly as it was supposed to happen. The question is, have you been more brave about other opportunities, or have you shied away from opportunities like that? If you had the same opportunity appear, would you take it?
Yeah. So I've been shy about this, about letting other people control my narrative. I hated more than anything the impact I had on my wife. She's shy. She's loving. She didn't want to be on TV. The producers, do it. And then they did it to her. So that was, I've buried that pain for her. You know? That was tough. So the protective side of me as a husband and a father has not done the public facing stuff, even though I know this is God's gift he gave me. God's gift he gave me was to connect, unite, and bring people together and to share my stories. And there's been a lot. There's been a lot. And good, bad, and everything, you know? But I have not shared openly, publicly, because they took that wind out of my sails to believe and trust people that have these cameras.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, from their perspective, they're selling a show.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make something interesting that,
I get it.
You know, what is interesting to you is maybe not interesting for an audience of people that just want to see drama and want to see,
I get it.
you know.
Well, and as a branding guy, you want your brand to be authentic.
Yeah.
And you lost control of that.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Because when we're sharing, like, I think that in that authenticity of what we shared is, I remember vividly, we're sitting there and I'm sitting here with Tillman, who, like, I'm meeting him, like, this is a good dude. And he says to me in this beautiful Southern charm, Texas voice, like, you know what your staff thinks of you, Luke? And he says, they love you, man. They'll do anything for you. And I was like, and my wife is like, we're just so they got the waterworks flowing, like, but like genuine. And then when you show it and you flip it back and it's him yelling at me and it makes me look like I did something wrong, like in a challenge, like we're on Survivor or something. It's like, dude, like this was a moment about like entrepreneur to entrepreneur. Like my wife and I put everything on the line to do this. We would do anything for these employees, you know?
Yeah.
And to hear that they love us back, it's like, this is what it's about. And this guy at the highest level of what we're trying to do here is telling me, great job. And then to twist that and make it into something for TV.
What would you say is changed about you because of that?
Not a dang thing. I'm still the same trusting Midwestern boy, and to a fault. But here's the beautiful thing about it is I put out love and love just keeps coming back. But now it's amplified, like, to the highest level. Because I always, since I was a kid, has believed in the golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated yourself. You know? And even though that hurt, I took it, and it took me a while to get to this place to really be me.
Yeah.
And love me. So when he asked that, it's like, no, nothing's changed. I'm just ready to love me and be me now.
Mm.
Yep.
What do you think going you make this giant move to Nashville. You build a great network here, and you have these two networks, and you're kind of juggling.
Yeah,
I know what that's like.
Two networks and two lives.
Yeah, and then as the kids are growing up, and you're getting more grounded here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is your long-term home?
So when you ask that, I start to get sentimental about my Florida friends, my Florida family, my Florida life. I really do. I'm so thankful for what we have here. I'm so thankful for what we have there. And I never thought in a million years, if you would have said to me, I'd be living in Nashville, Tennessee. Never would have thought. Yeah. So I have no idea where this life will take me. All I can say is that at this stage of our life, it's the most perfect place to raise our children.
Yeah.
We have great schools, great home. Everything is great. And we still have roots in South Florida.
Yeah.
So we're really living a very blessed, loving life by design that forever grateful for.
Me and my wife attempted this Costa Rica thing for a couple of years.
To like live there? Or?
Yeah, live there. And it was a massive transformation for me.
I bet.
And you coming here is like, it's a total example of like 10Xing oneself.
Yeah.
Because you can drop away all the, people know you as this person in Florida, and you get to be who you want to be, like here, whatever that is. Right. And so it really does. I always think that, people think of me as like the cell phone salesman, because that's why I still feel like I want to move, because of that,
Yeah.
You can, when you move from one part of your life to another part, you can be known as a new person. Because when you start your business, it seems like we try to be so many different people to satisfy our customer or employee, but not necessarily being ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
And that was for me, but
for me, it was not so much about the business of that kind of shadow you're kind of talking about. It was more about just the ego that had formed inside of me that was like my inner teenager that didn't get that love that he felt like he needed. And then he just kept showing through. But so like, I would say that like moving here to Nashville, there wasn't like a huge difference between Nashville or Fort Lauderdale as far as like the beautiful friends. Like they're all beautiful, everybody on both sides. But it was when you leaned into like the discomfort, right? Like it's like I'm living here, and I've got that there, and exactly what I shared, and I'm still not happy, right? What the heck is that? I've achieved everything I've wanted. Why am I not happy? So once I leaned into that discomfort and said, well, what is it that's not making me happy? And it was exactly that. It was learning these terminologies from our family coach, from some other people in the holistic, kind of coaching world of like life coaching, if you will, and breath work and meditations and things, and working on the inner child, inner teenager, and like understanding like this is what happened to that boy, that teen, and this is why he's acting out in these ways to get ego and all this stuff. And
I think what's beautiful about it is if you didn't take those risks of moving to Nashville, doing the reality show, these things might never have shown up for you. And it's created a lot of growth in you.
It's created a lot of growth. And so I would share, you asked when we were kind of just sitting in the little green room there, Robert, about like what you would share with the EO and the wider audience as far as entrepreneurs. Lean into that pain. Lean into that, discovery of what is causing this. And so many entrepreneurs that I know, that I coach, that I talk to, they say the same thing I was feeling. I got all this money. I got these things. I'm not happy. Not only am I not happy, I'm the worst I've ever been. So it's like you see these things on social media and other people that were watching, and it's like, oh, you push to get here, and then you're happy. That's not happy. So lean into those things and just know. And I know you two gentlemen are cut from the same cloth that I am. and that there's different modalities that you can try, different coaches, therapists that you can talk to, different EO members that might be beaten to a little bit different drum. And you're like, what's going on over there? How did he go from not happy to happy? Let's talk to him, to ask. Lean into it and ask. And you'll get the help you need. I did.
It's funny, we hairless apes think that we're done at certain points and that this is it. And you mentioned it when Luke stepped away earlier. We're all in a state of change all the time. It's, well, how am I going to push?
Yeah, I mean, I remember sitting on the bus with you, talking to you, and you're certainly different.
Yeah.
In a beautiful way.
Thank you.
And when we talked on the phone, I was like, me and Luke are going to get along, right?
Yeah. No, I feel a lot of days here at the lake together with our mutual friends of all walks of life here, my friend.
Yeah,
totally.
I haven't been public about this, but I bought eowoo.com.
There we go.
Did I tell you that?
No.
I'm just kidding, but I am going to buy it.
I thought you were serious. I know you too well.
But I wish, honestly, could we add a field in the EO chapter's directory and put that? Because I really wish we could have people start to be more open to cultivate an event.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be wrapped around us drinking bourbon.
Yeah.
Could we do an event where, we're going to go deep.
Yeah.
We're going to go like super deep.
Yeah.
And I think we're coming around.
So can I share about something I'm working on?
Sure.
That's definitely aligned with what you said. That I would love to have.
I have thrown the ball. I'm waiting for you to hit it.
All right. Well, it's balls. Okay. Thank you. So as I became aligned with who I was meant to be, I meet a beautiful human being named Maya Camarota. Maya and I met at Jesse Itzler's mastermind retreat about 3 years ago. And when I first met Maya, let me just paint the picture here. We're having an amazing conversation, getting to meet one another. She tells me her company is called 528. Some of you may know, like now, that 528 is the love frequency, miracle frequency, calming, loving. At the time, I'm just like, oh, my favorite number is 5, and I'm born on 28. We're destined to be best friends, If you don't know Jesse Itzler, he's, 100-mile racer, fruit till noon, build your life resume.
I have the big ass calendar on my wall.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're there at his home about to swim 2 miles across the lake. Okay. A bunch of other knuckleheads. And Maya, I didn't know because we're sitting at a table. She stands up. She's 7 months pregnant. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So that's where our friendship formed. Fast forward a few years. She's been coaching me. She's absolutely connected to Source. She's a spiritual, beautiful entrepreneur and just the highest level of just helping you be the best that you can be, And she got that out of me. She got it out of me. And not only did she get it out of me, she gave me the confidence to do this again, to kind of share that story. So Maya and I decided to be business partners in March of this year. So I started looking at, what are we trying to do here, Maya? And she's a creator, influencer, if you will, and she's got a big community following and stuff. She's like, I want to impact over 1 billion hearts. I want to share this love frequency with the world. And she's been on some of the biggest stages with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and all these things. But she wants to share her true heart with the world. She says, Luke, you're my Jerry Maguire, if you will. Figure it out. Help me bring this to the world. And that's what we're doing. So the business is called 528, fitting, right?
Yep.
And the movement that we're doing is we're bringing people together through community coaching and events. The first event that I really want to have EO Nashville help is awesome. And it's going to be a standing tradition. We rented out all of Camp Widgie Wagon. Do you guys know Camp Widgie Wagon? And we're doing adult summer camp. So 20 plus activities. We've got campfire, s'mores, archery, the blob, swimming across the lake, dancing, singing, sound bath, meditation, little dips for some of the folks that don't know what we just did before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've got amazing speakers. So think mastermind meets summer camp. We've only got 325 spots, and we want it filled.
Count me in.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we want that frequency of love, and we want to share that. And then from there, it grows and grows. We got multiple events and things like that. But that event is May 2nd through the 5th. And that's coming from a direct alignment of Maya's vision, Maya's heart, my heart, to just share authentically with one another. We know people are hurting right now, whether you're in the rat race of your day job, in corporate or entrepreneurially. Let's come together and have fun and get back out to nature and play. Just play.
Luke, this is awesome. I'm excited to get to know you more.
Ooh, me too, buddy.
Thanks for being on the pod, man.
Yeah.
So listen, this is another one of our members. You could be part of this community of about 350 of us who come together in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, and connect, belong to a forum where you can elevate, grow professionally, personally, most important, as you navigate this game of life. If you want to learn more, visit eonashville.com. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks for listening to the Decision Podcast by Nashville EO. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.